Welcome back, families and scholars. My name is Anthony Calvin. I'm the principal of Washington Byers, and I want to give you a brief orientation about who we are and how we do things at Washington Byers. Every day, our scholars hear the words, live with purpose, learn with passion, love, and leave a legacy of excellence. We use that as a model that we expect our teachers to live up to and be role models for, and something for our scholars to strive. We expect our scholars to come in and learn at high levels, but in order to do that effectively, that's right, the school and the home must have some things that we can agree upon and work together towards. As you look at the screen behind me, you see that we have 4 pillars, and these 4 pillars are which hold up our building. The first, standards aligned and culturally responsive instruction. And so we ask our teachers to create lessons that not only are aligned to our standards for maximum learning, but also relevant to the experience and culture of our scholars. Our second pillar, strong relationships with family and community. This year, this is going to be one of the biggest and most important hurdles that we have to conquer, because we have to rely on our scholars' first teacher. That's right, I said our scholars' first teacher. And their first teacher is you, the parent. Whether it is mom or dad or guardian, you are the first to come in contact with your scholars. You teach them those lessons of manners and politeness. You teach them their ABCs. And that first teacher is going to be pivotal to help the school teacher ensure that our scholars are learning at high levels. Our teachers can build the lessons and make sure that they are standards aligned, but we're going to need your help and participation to ensure that our scholars are engaged in these learning activities. And as you will hear from your teachers, some of these lessons will be synchronous, meaning that everyone is going to be on at the same time, and others will be asynchronous. And we have that asynchronous learning going on. We have to make sure that the first teacher, whether it's mom or dad or guardian, is behind that scholar, making sure that they are getting it done. Now, I don't expect our scholars to log on at 8 o'clock and not have a break till 3. I don't expect you to stand at that computer and support them from 8 to 3. We're going to have to figure out how we can do this together. And it's going to take communication, and it's going to take respect. And it's going to take us working together, because at the end of the day, the most important piece is that scholar. And you love your scholar, and we love our scholars. And we want them all to learn at high levels. So it's important that we communicate. So parents, please make sure that you listen to the teachers and how to sign up for Dojo. Also, sign up for the Canvas course that will teach you how to utilize and integrate Canvas into your child's learning. A big piece will also be Connect Ed messages that are coming from me and the teacher as well. So we need to make sure that we have the correct phone number. And I know we buy new phones sometimes and we change plans, but we have to make sure that we have an updated phone number and email address, because our Connect Eds will also send an email out when they are sent if the school has your correct email and PowerSchool. So it's imperative that we have that email address, because your phone number might change, but your email normally lasts a lot longer. The third piece that we need to make sure that our scholars are learning at high levels is differentiation. And so we have built into our schedule small groups. We also have been working with our EC teachers to be able to pull out our scholars and give them support. And that's a minimal expectation. But here at Byers, we took this step further. We are working with every teacher in the building when they have a free moment to be able to support other teachers, so that when we're doing small groups and your child might be doing that asynchronous learning, that we can peek in on them and make sure that they are staying on task. We're not expecting you to do it all. It's a heavy load, but it's lighter if we lift it together. So we can differentiate if we work together. And the last piece is high expectations and college readiness. We believe that all our scholars at the end of the day should be ready to go out and get some of these high-paying jobs. What do I mean by high-paying jobs? There are STEM jobs that kids can get right out of college that are related to the computer field that pay anywhere from $45,000 to $80,000. Right now, we have scholars that have graduated and are making more money than a lot of their parents. Personally, I have a son who is a senior this year, and he has a part-time job in high school that pays him $15 an hour. And it's because he has built his capacity to utilize and to work on computers. So the jobs are there. We just have to make sure our scholars are ready. And if we have high expectations and we challenge our scholars and we don't let them off the hook when they fail, we'll pick them up, we'll give them a hug and we'll love on them, but we are not going to give them a free pass. And if you do that at home and we do that at the school, we will create and build brave, brilliant, and resilient bulldogs. So how are we going to make all this come to fruition? First, we have transformative relationships. We want to be a part of your child's life, not just for the year that we teach them, but moving on. We want to be able to build a rapport. We want to be able to support them. And as I said, you do that when there's positive communication. High expectations. I discussed that. The next piece, rigorous standards, aligned instruction, and cultural relevant and engaging lessons. When we put all of that together, we are building scholars and teaching them how to think to learn and learn to think. And the byproduct of that will be critical thinkers, empowered, and active citizens, self-disciplined, responsible problem solvers, and college and career-ready scholars that can either decide to go to college or jump in their career that is going to enable them to take care of themselves and eventually their family. A big piece this year is going to be attendance. Parents, we know that scholars learn best when there is a teacher present. So the time that is set up for your scholars to meet synchronously with their teacher, it's imperative that they are there. I know where it's set up for the summer swing, meaning that our scholars have been sleeping late. I know my kids have been sleeping late, but now it's time to get them prepared to wake up and be in school. If we were coming in the building, most scholars would be up and at the buses very early. They can sleep in a little bit later, but we need them up and ready to eat at 7:30. Why 7:30? Because it's going to train them for the habit that's going to be taking place when they come back in the building. And if they're up and have breakfast by 7:30, at 8 o'clock, when the teachers turn on their Zoom meetings, they're going to be ready. So let's make sure that our scholars are here every time those Zoom lessons open up and that they are doing their work. In the event that life happens and a scholar is unable to log in, I know with the storms that have been going on, there have been pockets of power outages, the internet has been shaky from time to time. That may happen, but if that happens, it's imperative that we communicate, that you let the teacher know. Also, you can call the main office and let Mr. Posey know so that we can make sure that the attendance reflects that. And as soon as your internet is back on, or the doctor appointment, or whatever happened in life that prohibited him from being in the classroom virtually, they can go back and watch the recording and do the work. We have to make sure that our scholars are working hard, because even though we are not in the classroom, we're still learning. And my expectation is that our scholars will be learning at high levels. Our student support team, our counselors and BMTs, the school psychologists, and our social workers are going to be looking at attendance very closely. And as you can see in that third bullet, after 4 consecutive days of unexcused absences, we're going to be on it. I don't want it to go that far. If you know your scholar has a sickness, or they're not going to be there, or you had some difficulty, let us know about that hardship so we can figure out how to support you. At this time, we're going to make a transition. You are going to be with your teachers, meeting the teachers, and going over some more very important instructional expectations. If you have any questions, feel free to call us. And once again, for those who don't know, I am Anthony Calloway, Principal of Washington Byers, and I can't wait to see your baby. Let's make it a great school.